Out here today at the George R. Brown Discovery Green, trying to just figure out what's going on.
Activity is booming. It's booming out here.
Cowboys up here. Let's walk across the cowboys. Hey, you got some legal flag poles on there, sir? We got legal flag poles. That's illegal. That's illegal. Assault weapons and science. You got right?
You're right, get that big GRB.
Where? Oh, yeah. This helicopter right above you? Yep. Yeah, get that. Check it out, Cancun Cruz won't save our kids. Oh, fucking Ted Cruz. He really fucked up on that one. Guns don't die, kids do. Yeah. Shit. They got the Satan thing.
It says for sale Donald Trump. $70 million.
That means that you pay him money. But half of these signs are lies. Except for the Cancun part. Let's be honest, man. That dude really did go to Cancun. DOP is treating our children's safety for NRA money. This one on the floor. Kids' lives are worth more than your gun hobby. I'm sick of this whole package. Right here in Texas, where the governor was more concerned about keeping masks out of schools than guns.
Are you catching footage, or are you here participating?
Originally, I was here because there was supposed to be content for basically like black models and wearing denim and everything, but
Yeah.
apparently they're not even around, and instead I hear a loud noise and I bump into this
Yeah.
whole protest.
Yeah, man. It's the NRA convention. You know, we got people out here that are, blaming the NRA for the school shooting, and then we got the, the gun activists. So how do you feel about all this?
I can understand from both sides, although I think honestly there's always going to be times. I think that I feel like there should be a balance between the two, where maybe there shouldn't be too much, like too much freedom in terms of how people get the weapons, but at the same time there shouldn't be like it shouldn't be too strict to where they're not able to obtain it. I would say like a good balance would be perhaps first they should check on how the person is in terms of mental.
Yeah.
And basically pay attention to their behavior in terms of like how it is that they are towards other people and how they would be in terms of very similar to how it is like in terms of how they test people on driving and
Right.
stuff like that. They should probably do the same for weapons as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said before, it shouldn't be like extremely strict.
Right. They do have a small course, but I don't think it's like it's not a required course to get a gun license, if I'm not mistaken, right? You can just apply for it. But they do the background check. It's a very quick background check. But we were recently looking at how Switzerland, it was Switzerland, right? How they have their own gun laws and how they manage like the ownership.
Yeah, like everyone like 18 to 65, all able males are required to carry a gun.
Yeah.
It's a strict open carry policy.
Strict open carry policy. You can see the person carrying a gun,
Right.
as opposed to having it concealed.
Right.
We were debating that yesterday, and there were some good talking points that that we managed to bring up. And as far as like school shootings and all that, it's very sad. But like, do you think there's a blame to be put on the NRA?
I mean, if I have to be really honest, I'm really not even knowledgeable about what they do.
Yeah.
But all I can really say is that it's important that people get educated about it.
Right.
Like how to not only basically be responsible with the weapon per se, but they should also be educated and pay attention to what it is that they're consuming in terms of not just food, but even what kind of content.
Right.
And everything, because a lot of that will condition a particular
Right.
person to behave a particular way,
Right.
which will also ultimately be put out to the world and put out to others as well.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I just personally think if I could take it real back, I would say there shouldn't be guns at all to begin with, but since they're already here,
Yeah.
I think the best way is to try to balance it out.
Yeah.
If we could go all the way back in time, it would have been better if they didn't come up with the ideas.
Yeah, earlier you mentioned something about conditioning, and you're right. It happens through magazines, music,
Media,
Media.
games, you name it.
You know?
Basically around. It's advertised everywhere. Especially music, they'll always,
Yeah.
kind of promote and hype this kind of stuff up. But, it's not to say that I'm gonna knock people out for wanting to listen to it. At the end of the day, they can, as long as they're conscious about what they're doing and they're being responsible, then it's fine. But if they're easily influenced by it and they're gonna be impressionable about something, especially with young people, they're gonna only want to repeat what that person is promoting or constantly emphasizing.
Right. Yeah, you know, there's always like specific talking points, and everybody has the ability to, you know, confer or at least come up with with an idea for themselves, you know, that fits their identity. So, do you feel like there's a lot of manipulation going on, or is it about the same, or is there less as far as like what you see on TV, on newspapers, popular?
In terms of manipulation, of course there is.
Yeah.
There always is. I mean, if you really just look at it, you know, it's in plain sight. Basically, you got to look at what's being pushed out more often than what should be pushed out.
Would you say it's about the same? Like as far as like there's been an increase, or is it about the same as far as like people trying to work one idea and kind of reinforce that one like frame of mind?
To an extent, yes. To an extent, definitely. Like people, for example, people will definitely come up with the idea like, oh, rap nowadays is dumber than rap back then. But the thing is, they promote the same thing. Sure, nowadays it's like, it's said in a way that's so mind-numbingly dumb, but even before, they were promoting the same things, talking about, you know, disrespecting, you know, somebody you love, or killing somebody you love, and basically getting drunk, and doing drugs, and doing this, and doing that, basically doing things that is degrading for the mind. But like, all of it is just being emphasized in a much more quote-unquote blunt way.
Yeah.
But really what I could say with all of this is that, of course, this is a sense of manipulation, because people have to think about who owns this type of media.
Yeah.
Who's the one that's promoting it. They're basically controlling what's being pushed out more. Because you're not really going to be hearing people emphasizing, oh, we need to spread love to one another. Oh, we should be taking care of ourselves in a way that's actually helpful. Instead, what's being pushed out is, oh, it's continuously marketing each other for nothing.
Right.
It's not actually do something.
Right.
Like an actual solution is actually standing up for something that actually is right. Otherwise, you're just going to fall for anything.
How do you tell what's true and what's not? Because it seems to be really difficult nowadays.
It can be. It can definitely be true. But I feel like, I just think that part of like living life, at least in my philosophy, is just that, and everything we do, we gotta do it with love. You know?
Yeah.
You can't do everything with hate. There's basically no way around it. It's either love or hate. And from what I see in this, it's like this is not being done with love. This is actually just, again, more conditioning.
Yeah.
People are being conditioned to market each other.
Yeah. Right. My name is Sergio, by the way. What's your name? Moses? Pleasure to meet you, Moses. No, thank you.
Y'all should scream louder. Scream louder at them. Then maybe something will happen.
Are you okay with the killing of the black people? When will you care? Will you care when it's your own case?
Scream louder!
You cowards don't give a shit, do you? It says a joke for you! Am I a joke? Are children dying a joke?
They will never get
Are people dying getting
never get
killed
interviewed.
a joke? You find this fucking funny?
The good thing is that she has experience.
Well, I'm so pro-life. I'm gonna go to school and die. Pro-life my ass. Shame on you! 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 Yeah, you're out. Shame on you! 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 Why are you so okay with people dying? I can't hear you! What's your answer? Why are you so okay with children dying? You're okay with it until it's your own! Your child could be next! Your child could be next! Lives are not more important than people! Your child could be next! You don't know that!
Baby killers! Baby killers! Baby killers!
She's like, yeah, you know, if you go over there to the other side, that's different kind of protesters, and we want you to be safe.
Oh.
And I was like, well, this is
yeah.
the anti-guns right here, right? She goes, yeah, this is anti-guns.
Yeah, we're going to the
and I was
pro.
like, yeah, well, I belong over there. Like, do you see how much I belong over there? She's like, well, I just want him to be safe. Like, oh, he's safe.
Yeah, he's a...
I was wondering if you'd be able to interview you and ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
How's when did you arrive and what's
Yeah, I got there around 12:30. There's definitely a lot more people that there are now than there were then. It was pretty quiet for a little bit. It was really the main group under the shade, and then more people came. There was somebody from Maine that came here just for this.
That's dedication.
She's awesome. So I think it's important for them to see that we
And-
care.
Yeah, no, I understand totally. It's been a crazy ride with what recently happened. You know, and I was just we were speaking about this when I was a kid. I was about in second grade, and there was a school shooting. You know, and I was in the late 80s.
Yeah. And nothing has changed since then. You know.
Yeah.
It's gonna continue happening until somebody does something about it.
Yeah, we've been talking about double-edged swords, you know, because like when you talk about double-edged swords, like there's a pro and then there's a con. There's like a trade-off for everything. Like with free speech and the Second Amendment, like what do you think? What are your thoughts on the trade-offs? Could there be a better balance? Do you have any ideas? What are your thoughts on concerning that?
I don't have a problem with like handguns. I think if you need a gun to feel safe, you know, you do you.
Yeah.
But I don't see the reason for an assault rifle, like a semi-automatic, anything with more than, that you could shoot people, like hundreds of people in a few seconds. I just don't see the need for that. And I don't know what the trade-off is. I don't know if the trade is enough for them, but the trade-off is maybe you have less rifles, but more people get to live.
Yeah.
That's the trade-off.
What are your thoughts on what happened with the police and it's seeming so far the allegation is that they were just standing around for like 40 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. So I was on Twitter because that's what people do, and I saw this thread of one of like a reporter somewhere was digging through what their trainings were for for active shooter trainings,
Yes.
and it said that they have to be prepared to be the lone hero in it.
Right.
And whenever parents are the ones that have to go into a school to take out their children to save their children, something there is wrong to me. It means that the police are not doing their
Was there a
job.
woman who got pepper sprayed and still managed to get inside? I heard there was a lady who got pepper sprayed.
I don't know exactly about the pepper spraying. I'm not going to spread that if that's misinformation. I did see for sure that there was a parent, one father on the ground, handcuffed, surrounded by 2 or 3 police there, and there was another mother that was arrested for trying to jump the fence. And to me, if you're policing the people whose children are actively getting murdered, instead of going to shoot the person who's murdering children, there's something wrong with you. You should feel horrible about yourself. I hope they don't sleep at night for as long as they live.
You know,
what kind of laws, like extra laws, can we put in place to keep them more safe?
I think we should ban assault rifles and automatic guns. And I know that maybe infringing on anyone's Second Amendment right, but I have a right to live.
right.
Well, it's, automatic rifles, like machine guns, there are already bans on those. Nobody can have a machine gun. A semi-automatic rifle, you get 1 bullet per trigger pull. Just
Okay.
like a pistol.
And
It's like a
typically
hand-
And how
like
fast
about
can you kill people?
9 to 10 pound pressure on the trigger.
So as fast as you can pull that trigger, you get 1 bullet per trigger pull.
Okay.
So that's like, if you wanted to do 100 bullets, you'd have to pull that 100 times.
Now there are illegal triggers that they put on the guns that turn them into automatics.
Bump stocks,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
makes
the-
you be able to pull the trigger faster.
There was something else too. It was like a little add-on that you put on the gun. And
Yeah,
But
where are
that-
they
those
getting
are-
those
that
from?
came from Australia.
And those are illegal add-ons.
Those are illegal. Yeah. Mods. I think this is like a mod.
Me personally, if you're gonna ask me exactly what I think, I don't think we need guns. People can get mad and talk about their Second Amendment right. I think the right to live is more important than the right to have a gun.
Of course.
And if you have a gun, more power to you. Do it legally, put it away safely, do what you're gonna do. But if you
So instead of guns, like, what could we do to keep the kids safe? If we banned all the guns, what's our next step to keep the kids safe in the schools?
well, apparently the problems are doors.
Yeah.
We need to keep doors locked, supposedly. I do appreciate schools like my school, my high school. They have one main entrance with, they have a bunch of doors at the front, but everything else is locked before you get into the actual school.
Yeah.
There are no outside places that you can get in. I don't believe we should be arming teachers. Teachers do not get paid enough to do what they're currently doing, point blank,
Right.
period. And also, you're telling me that the more that we arm school teachers, the more killings there won't be. I mean, children are being arrested by campus safety officers all the time. Primarily black children are being arrested and being choked out in cafeterias. So adding more
what
guns in, for talking back, for fighting, I don't think middle schoolers fighting is a reason to choke a student out and kill them.
Do you feel our current administration is doing enough to protect the children and fund schools?
No, absolutely not. Greg Abbott talks about how mental health is a problem here, and can we talk about how he defunds mental health resources more every single year? He doesn't care about mental health. They never did. They care about blaming anything else outside of guns.
You know, I don't. If I'm not mistaken, my understanding is if we would fund schools, like it would cost about $4.5 billion to add more security to schools in the U.S. And our president and administration are sending money out to Ukraine instead of helping the U.S. and the people, the citizens.
Yeah, I'm less concerned about how we're helping Ukraine and other countries, and I'm more concerned about how much we spend on our military. Whenever our veterans come back with PTSD and severed limbs, and they don't get the help that they deserve, I don't think we should be focusing on defense or helping other countries as much as we should be helping the people that are currently here, that are living here. Ukraine, that's a whole different thing. Joe Biden is doing what he's doing, but I think if we're going to help keep our kids safe, we don't need more police officers with guns in school. We need to properly educate our everyone about how to safely have a gun, because they're not going to get banned. That's not what's going to happen here. But we need to talk about how to safely have them, how to extend the wait period between owning guns, how limit how much ammo you need. You don't need thousands and thousands of ammunition to go shoot deer. You don't need that. Yeah.
Do you have hope for the future as far as like what the current administration can do and possibly improve the society in some form?
I feel like there's I mean, the NRA is a big thing. I think too many politicians are in their pockets. Not just the NRA, but I mean, lobbyists just kind of in general. Nothing's going to change until we start realizing that money is not what makes the world go round, or at least it shouldn't be. The reason why we should be getting up every single day is to live and be with our people, the people that we love and the people that we care about. And if you're more into money and more into what gets more money into your pockets, then I don't think you're a good person.
Do you think there's been strong conversations concerning just completely banning weapons, as you mentioned, and when you ban weapons, there's the argument that there's very little good guys doing, the saving.
Yeah.
Right? So when that small percentage of people trying to do the right thing, if you ban the weapons, it goes to zero. Is that a good trade-off?
I think we're trading apples and oranges there. There's so few people, good guys with a gun. Uvalde, that happened where one parent that was off duty went and shot the person, the person that was killing the people in the school. However, can we talk about how the police officers who have guns for good reason, they're supposed to be the good guys, right? They're supposed to be the good guys, and they have guns and they weren't doing anything with it.
Exactly.
So the good guy with the handgun is a whole different thing to me. Yeah. First of all, I don't think we're going to ban all guns. It's not going to be, I don't think that's possible. If it would happen, great. It's the whole argument of you can't ban abortions because people are going to continue having abortions. They're just not going to have them safely. You can't ban guns because people are going to continue having them. They're just going to get them through the black market, whatever. We need to talk about how to make it harder to get guns. Why do you need a gun? In Japan, guns are so few and far between, and they have to go through months of training. They have to go through months of extensive background checks. And how many shootings have there been in Japan?
We were doing some research yesterday concerning Switzerland and their gun laws and how they manage everything. And over there, it's a strict open carry, right? So that way everybody can visibly see that there's a person that owns a gun.
Yeah.
And also they have how long is the background check? Like 2 weeks?
I'm not sure about the background check, but their law is that every able-bodied male, 18 to 65, is required to carry a gun.
I have less of a problem with how Switzerland does things, and the fact that we, as a country, are enabling toxic masculinity, and the fact that people like the Uvalde shooter and many other shooters were on Reddit, we're on 4chan, we're on 8chan, and they were talking about their manifestos of white supremacy. That's what this whole thing boils down to, is white supremacy and their belief that white people are better than everyone else. The Uvalde shooter was Hispanic. Hispanics have a problem, and they're either in our proximity to whiteness. We think we're either white or we're nothing. It's a problem of white supremacy, and if we don't dispel that, if we don't talk about how toxic it is, then nothing's gonna get better.
Have you heard of the Azov Battalion?
I've heard the name, I don't know much about it.
Yeah, it's just the United States back in 2014, they were associated with Nazi groups called the Azov Battalion. I think there's other two groups. Long story short, the US found out that they were assisting these Nazi groups, and basically stopped funding them. But they're still there over there in Ukraine and Poland.
Yeah, I mean,
And I totally understand about, you know, not your concern is not over there, rather over here. And I think a lot of people feel the same way. I mean, I feel the same way, and Matt feels the same way about, you know, what's going on here instead of what's going on over there. And I think we can all relate to that. Look, I really appreciate your time.
Of course.